Hey, and welcome to the Narrative Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, GT, and thank you for tuning in. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about what happens after you have applied, you've gone through your schooling, they've given you your orders, you've, came home, kind of got everything back together, kind of, got, your weekend all wrapped up and you're ready to go to work come Monday at whatever prospective yard that they put you at. So what do you expect? So I worked for CSX Roosmere. So you get back, you go to your yard, and you're greenhorn. So you get there, everybody's pretty cool and everything. You kind of, keep your head down, try to learn what you can. When you get there, they put you with somebody who works there, whatever, with another conductor. And, they're basically giving you your probationary period because you have to do, at least with CSX, you had to do 4 months and kind of get a feel for the railroad before they do something what's called being marked up. And during that probationary period, you'll work with a lot of different people, and you're basically with a crew, but you're really not allowed to do anything. You have the paperwork that they have, and you're basically shadowing them during the job, and you're kind of trying to get a feel for what they're doing. And I don't know. It seems like it would be a good idea to somewhat act like you're the switchman, and that would kind of make it a little bit less confusing, because you also want to remember that that you're a switchman, so therefore you're doing more than lining switches. You're the person that has to kind of work with the foreman seamlessly to, when he lets go of a car, to get it in the right track, to make sure that track is clear, to make sure that all those cars are together, and to kind of think ahead of time a little bit. Because if he has a car if your foreman has cars going into 3, 21, 22, and 24 track, then you have to understand that your foreman can line 3 track. Now, if he's going to get tracks from, let's say he's going to get tracks from the West Main. So he's got to go up, he's got to go over, he's got to get cars from the West Main, he's got to come back. Now, in that particular case, you would go ahead and line 3 track. So when he's done doing everything that he's doing, then when he comes back, he can go ahead and go right into 3 track or whatever. So you want to line 3 track. You want to make sure, you want to look down the track, see if there's anything in there. If the track is clear, you want to let him know. If it has cars, you want to let him know. Then you want to go down and you want to line 21, 22, and 23. And you want to make sure you do the same thing with those. You want to make sure that 21, 22, and 23 has cars, or they're clear. If they're not, you want to let him know. You want to make sure that once he puts in whatever he's going to put into 3, when he comes out of 3 and he lines the lead, and the lead is a track that goes all the way down. It's like a main track where all of the other tracks get lined off of it. So a lead, you can go down the lead and you can go get into 1 through 30. So you want to make sure that it's lined so that he can come out of 3. And if 21 has cars in it, then he can just kick a car from 3 down the lead right into 21, and there's a car there, so you're good. Once that car goes down the track, it goes into 21, you're good. You want to line 21 for the lead, so he's clear to go from 3 down to the next track, which is 22. You want to take a quick look. You want to make sure 22 has cars in it. If let's say 22 doesn't have cars in it, then you want to make sure he knows that 22 is clear. But you also want to be in a position where y'all can switch, or he can say, okay, here's the pitch, and basically what he's saying is, I'm going to give you control of the movement. So now you have control of the movement on your box. And what you're going to do is you're going to bring the train, you're going to make sure he's clear. So he's going to say, I'm on the ground, clear, ready for movement. You're going to say, okay, you're clear on the ground, ready for movement. You're going to make it clear which direction that engine is going. So you're reversing. You're going to say that, you're going to put it in reverse, then you're going to bring all those cars down into 21. So you're going to look at your list, and we'll say, all the cars, there's 2 cars going into 21, and then up to line maybe 15 is getting cut there. The rest of the cars are going into 23. So you're going to bring the cars in there, past line 21. You're going to make sure that the movement is clear behind the cars that are in 21, and you're going to make sure that the cars you're leaving are beyond what they call a clearance point. They're clear of any other tracks where cars are going into. And then you're going to stop. You're going to cut away from the cars. You more than likely, I'm not sure if you have to do a brake test when you're leaving cars in there, when you're actually attaching cars. I think you do. You do a brake test, then you'll cut away, come out of 21, line 21 for the lead. Then you're going to whatever, 22 or 23, and you're doing the same thing. Once you're done with that, then you say, okay, I'm clear. You let your foreman know, I'm giving you the pitch. Now he's in control of the movement. And you let him know that you're on the ground and you're clear. So he'll take the movement. He'll run the cars back up the lead because you let him know that you're lined, whatever. He's up top. We had a light that we had to watch at the top of the yard. So one person has to be at each end of the train. So you want to make sure that you understand that that's part of being a switchman. It's not just lining switches. It's a whole lot of paperwork and a whole lot of movements and knowing where you are and yada, yada, yada. It's a lot being a switchman. But that's it for this episode of the Narrative Mindset Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to know more about the railroad, I'll be doing a couple of episodes kind of giving you an overview of what I know about the railroad. And as always, follow this podcast to help this podcast grow. Have a good one.